Welcome back, folks. Here this time I'm joined by Anatoly, and we've got the Papis versus New Game Plus. So although the New Game Plus team is out of the running, they can still play spoiler and win against the Papis.
That's very true. If Papis win this game and then Burrito beat out Victoria's Secret in the next one, we will have a three-way tie.
Uh-oh. What do we do then?
Tiebreakers.
More games, free Smite. Everybody likes that stuff. But if the Papis lose here, then we have a pretty cut and dry top two.
That's true. It will, but that's also if Burrito will win the next one too, because then that could be a two-way tie between those two. Oh, I'm sorry, the head-to-head record will. That's where there will be no tiebreakers. But either way, Victoria's Secret will be sitting pretty if Papis were to fall on this one.
We'll take a look at how these ones are going to wind up as we head into game. We have picks and bans here right away. As we said, Papis, New Game Plus. This one should be interesting. Very curious to see which direction both teams go with their picks and bans.
And so far for New Game Plus, they've been kind of slightly underperforming compared to the all-star caliber names in their rosters. You would expect the likes of some of those players, specifically, Gamehunter, Murrdurr, and Repikas, to kind of step it up a little bit.
I mean, it's interesting as we head into picks and bans here. The players, we've seen good stuff. It's not as if we haven't seen strong performances. It's just the fact of the matter that we haven't seen the wins. We see the games consistently go well during the early and mid game, and then come late game, we wind up in the opposite direction.
We definitely saw a lot of different variety of strategies between these teams as the games developed. A lot of long, interesting Smite action here in the European relegations. Teams still trying to figure out the new meta. We've seen some Skadi here and there. Still really performing pretty well thus far.
New Game Plus have the last ban available. Sun Wukong, Terra, Freya, and Thothbi, which means Hell is available. Do the Papis play it? Do the Papis want it? That's the question.
It's a little risky to draft Hell this early in the draft, considering Odin is still available. You got your Cirque head, and then anything that can lock you down. It was a nice little Terra ban, though, so it leads me to believe that you're going to be drafting gods that don't have such a good escape, such as Skadi. But we were talking about Odin, and God like Skadi needs to find ways to get out of that cage.
I like the Odin and Geb draft here because that sort of, now the Papis can't really go Hell, otherwise you're kind of stuck in the Odin ring. Ganesha will be the supportive choice for the Papis. And then as we continue on, we'll see where they wind up. New Game Plus, however, I think they might wind up with a Hell.
It might be the case. If you have the Odin, it might as well supplement it a little bit further with that sustain and have these long, drawn-out team fights, considering that Odin can blink in, use that cage very often with the short cooldowns. But something we actually haven't seen out of New Game Plus quite yet was the Vulcan here for Phlippo, or Phlippo.
Yeah, we did see the Vulcan a little bit earlier here before he played the Honor, so we'll see how this one works out again. Phlippo is not poor on the Vulcan again. He played just fine. How will it work around the rest of the team is a different story. The Papis, as they have Skadi, Ganesha, and Ravana, they'll choose out to ban the Morgan, and they've got one more. Giannis banned out by New Game Plus. We saw MrNazer on that pick before. Certainly did well. And the Soul we banned as well.
No surprise here from New Game Plus to target ban against MrNazer, considering that's all he's been playing today was the Giannis. It makes perfect sense to, force him into a different pick that he's not warmed up for heading into the last game of the day, potentially.
New Game Plus have the option right now. They're going to go with the Apollo. So that is one of the classic selections for Gamehunter. Back when he played the solo lane, played Apollo. This was just a pick that he likes and will continue to like.
It's an old-school traditional pick, honestly. Even I enjoy playing Apollo, whether it's the solo lane or the hunter position. Yeah. You just have so many outplay potentials between your mez that can interrupt channeling abilities, or maybe, just interrupt that one in-hand that was about to come out there. You gain protections, and then that global presence allows Gamehunter to just sit in lane as long as he wants.
I don't think we see two Odins. I'm not sure how that one works out, but I'm sure we'll fix that on the moment. Chronos and Skadi are two of the characters that can wind up in either player's lane, whether they wind up in the mid lane or the hunter role. We'll see who plays that one. And the Odin was the Osiris. That makes a little bit more sense. So we have the Osiris and the Odin. Which one winds up in the jungle, Toly?
I would assume that it would be the Odin. You want to have more frequent cages into the dual lane before the level 12 comes out, which might actually even force out an early Phantom, potentially trying to really stop some of these cages coming up. But instead, electing to go for a sprint for Dracomarino, really elected... Oh, but it's actually Creed that gets the Phantom, which is surprising considering that he's going to be stuck in that solo lane for quite a long time.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I guess, yeah.
Somebody's got to build it.
I mean, somebody has to. Very interesting selection. Yeah, I would assume that it would be Dheylo picking it up. But either way, we'll see how it works out so far. 2 blinks on the side of New Game Plus. No surprise on the Gab, and no surprise in the Odin either.
Honestly, there could have been so many different options for Papis. They could have even had Dheylo playing this Raven go for the Phantom, allow the sprint to be picked up by Creed, and then have the Shell being picked up on Dracomarino. But either way, this is the direction that Papis want to continue.
A little bit of poke already. MrNazer getting the worst end of that deal, however. Now minions about to meet. Our jungler will not be in the middle lane here for the Papis. Instead, we're going to see jungle and solo stay at the speed buff, while MrNazer is forced to clear by himself. No problem. Phlippo and Repi will have control of the lane, and they'll head directly to the neutral camps, understanding that their enemy jungle is probably already gone.
It's not a bad idea to sacrifice a little bit of gold for your mid player if you can guarantee to out-clear your opposition in terms of the speed buff, the blue buff, and then use that mobility in the mana regen to out-rotate your opponents, and then make the impact on the very important second and even third wave.
Here comes Dracomarino to join up in Warchi's lane, and already getting aggressive. Nice knock-up. Dracomarino went for the dash, but Murrdurr turned around and knocked him up. If Draco grabs that dash and gets the stutter onto Murrdurr, might be able to put some big, heavy damage into New Game Plus's dual lane, but because of the knockup, not going to happen.
But Murrdurr is expecting a lot of pressure onto his lane, which is why he elected to go for health potions along with the multi-pots.
Here, right side, early fight. Vastrakal gonna get hit by the stun, and he's done! MrNazer starts things off hot in the first minute with the first blood going to Chronos.
Very unfortunate set of circumstances for the Osiris, because now without the teleport and before you even have 800 gold to pick up the Swiftwing, you're going to lose so much gold and experience to this next wave that's going to be under the tower, giving a lot of momentum in the early laning phase for Creed.
That's one of the biggest deals about it. We talked earlier in one of the matches about the advent of the teleportless solo lane, which I think is almost always a win. Swiftwing is strong enough to get back to lane, unless you die before 800 gold.
That's very true, and I personally favor as well the non-teleport option, because there's so many good relics out there between, even if you want to be the offensive route of Girdle Frenzy, right? You can even go for the horrific emblem to shut down some of the mobility, but maybe Papis wants to try to find a second kill on him.
They're going for the gank. Here it is. Oh, the root's not good, but that one is. Vastrakal in trouble. Will they tower dive? They don't need to. Creed gets credit for that one. 2 kills on the Vastrakal in that many minutes. The Papis leading and starting this one off hot.
Usually you don't want to put this much attention onto the solo lane, but because there was no teleport, you're going to have to wait for those Osiris to come back. There's so much farm to be getting around this early phase of the game between the Fire Giant Elementals respawning another wave, which takes a little bit of time to clear anyway. So when your jungler clears that wave on the right-hand side, you're just waiting in the jungle anyway. Not again. Don't do him like this.
Okay, they're going in a little bit early. This one shouldn't be a kill. Level 3 on Vastrakal. There's the taunt.
You
Wait,
say
they
that.
have ultimates. There's a little bit of the tank of the tower from Creed. But again, Dheylo, not enough. The Papis could have gotten that kill if they wait an extra 2 seconds.
Or if he connects onto the root. Creed did miss the javelin toss in the center. He did apply the damage, but if he applies the root a little bit more, it allows more melee in-hands before entering the tower range, so therefore you're not taking too much towers shots to be able to really dive that tower.
I think Creed just went a little bit too early. That was, I mean, that very fortunate for Vastrakal.
But either way, the Osiris took a decent amount of health, but it's actually Murrdurr that's going to be in a little bit of trouble here.
He's going to roll out directly into the Cataclysm. Now 3 players stuck here. MrNazer does avoid some of the damage, but he gives it out just as well. Murrdurr gets the death for that one. And the up down and a Repikas brings down Warchi. Another kill going the way of the Papis, but New Game Plus on the board finally, thanks to their jungler.
I mean, hey, look at that. An Odin Cage locking down a Skadi and finding a kill. Who would have thought that that mechanic would favor New Game Plus? Imagine if that Phantom on Creed was either on Dheylo or Dracomarino, how effective that would have been to save their hunter.
Now, Creed is just going to keep abusing this solo lane. Vastrakal, I mean, Shen is already a character that wants to fight. He's 3 levels above his opposition, who hasn't even hit level 5 yet.
Honestly, it doesn't matter what solo laner Creed is playing. When you have a 3-level, now 2 advantage from 7 to 5, you can almost do anything you want, which is why we're seeing such an aggressive play from Papis, trying to shut down this speed buff from Repikas.
Not going to be successful, and Vastrakal quickly understands that he's in trouble. Level 5 here. 2 levels down against Creed, who's just looking for the blue buff. This one will go the way of the Papis. Blue buff able to just sit there, and Creed trying to get it, and again, he'll be able to pick it up, no problem.
But yet again, Vastrakal took so much damage that he's considering backing at this phase of the game. A nice little ultimate, though.
MrNazer ults right into the hands of Repikas, but he turns it around, and there's going to be the ult from Phlippo. Dheylo's able to get the kill, and Gamehunter, with the big man rotation, puts down the Chronos.
And Vastrakal did a great ultimate, keeping 2 into place, but Warchi even made a better rotation, locking down Vastrakal. He's not done yet. He's going to take out Kanye Life, aka Murrdurr, and that's going to be a nice addition to Papis here, getting 6 kills on the board.
I love this decision as well by Dheylo. This is one of those scenarios where you sit there and go, really? You're farming while we're team fighting? Dheylo's addition there would do nothing to help the team. Gamehunter likely to fall. The dog gets the last hit. Dheylo's addition in that team fight would do nothing to help the team. In fact, only hurt the team. So we get some extra farm. Creed having some issues here. He's able to get back there with the tier 1 tower in the solo lane. 6 minutes and 20 seconds. The Archers have it. Let's go minions is what the Papis are saying.
All they needed was 1 shot. But honestly, it doesn't really matter. Creed, anytime he wants to, can easily mink form in or even turtle on in to get that last hit.
A lot of solo laners talk about leaving that tower up sometimes to enable yourself safer farm. Is that what we're thinking here, or is it just an oopsie daisy?
It's just an oopsie daisies. If one more shot occurred from Warchi, that tower is guaranteed down. An extra 500 gold for Papis is not the end of the world. The fact that they didn't get it here, considering how far ahead they already are. They're up about 3,300 gold, not even 7 minutes into the game, and with even more experience to boot.
Chronos caught up in the ring, and there's the ultimate as well from Phlippo. But he's able to get out of there no problem. There's the last hit. Thanks, Creed. And that pushes his team up even further. Almost 4,000 gold in the lead.
Well-timed ultimate from MrNazer, waiting for the Vulcan ultimate from Phlippo before electing to rewind back in time, and also being extra cautious by going for this Aegis instead of the Purification beats. He recognizes that the Bird Bomb is going to hurt, the Vulcan combo is going to hurt, might as well play it safe, but this allows Murrdurr the opportunity to maybe find the Blink Cataclysm knockup, and maybe that Chain CC is all that New Game Plus needs to constantly pick off MrNazer.
And I mean, we saw what they could do when the enemy team constantly looked to pick off one player, so we'll see if it works in the mid lane as well. Repikas and friends going for the gold Fury
this is desperation.
Time around. This is desperation. The Papis come marching in, led by Dracomarino. Jumping forward is going to be Dheylo on that Ravana, just chasing Phlippo down. Flip kick strong, give him the hands. Dheylo gets another kill for the Papis. 8 in total. And the Papis take the Hail Mary, and they say it themselves, grabbing the Gold Fury by the neck. Half HP already on the objective. Dheylo out to try and zone, but Murrdurr blinks in. He blinks to his own death. Another one, says Dheylo. Love potion number 9. In comes Repikas, and down goes the Gold Fury. Down goes Repikas. Double digits for the Papis. 7K in the lead at 8.5 minutes, folks.
Just a great performance. They don't have to force the issue. They can allow New Game Plus to do it for them. They felt that they had something to be done here. If they didn't do anything New Game Plus, that the game would slowly just trickle away from their fingers. A little bit too ambitious without too much vision around that Fire Giant side, which allowed Papis just to come from behind, and this allowed an easy cleanup.
Well, the thought process for New Game Plus is, hey, we have a Vulcan. They don't have any objective secure. We should be able to take this, which works out on paper. But the Papis just beat them up. There wasn't even an attempt to steal. They just beat them up.
But the problem is it's also a level 8 Vulcan with only pen boots completed, still working on his Book of Thoth, still working on probably what looks to be a Spear of Magus here. Going for these tier 1 items is not very favorable for Phlippo, considering he's already so far behind. So even if you do have that Vulcan ultimate, you're going to be close range. How good is that going to be anyway?
Sure, I'll give you that much. I'm just saying what they were thinking.
Yeah, the Hail Mary, it was like you're literally at the 1 yard line. You're throwing that Hail Mary beyond like 60 yards at their side.
But instead, they wound up looking like Blake Bortles. The Papis, however, now on the right-hand side, looking at that Fire Giant spawn. They want the exact 10-minute Portal Demon. I respect it, Toli. I respect it.
Knowing the timing is so important in Smite, not only for objectives such as Fire Giant and Portal Demon, but the respawns of buffs. Every 3 minutes, the buffs will respawn. It's very important to keep track of those cooldowns, including the mid-harpies and oracles, if you want to try to get the slight competitive edge over your opponents.
Right now, the Papis look fantastic. To say they're in the driver's seat is putting it lightly. How do they lose this game? What do New Game Plus have to do? Is there anything they can do? Or does it revolve solely on the Papis dropping or throwing, which at the moment doesn't look like a possibility?
It would have to be a game of throws from Papis in order for New Game Plus to get back into it, but it doesn't seem that Papis want to pull the trigger on Fire Giant quite yet. They're very content about getting these buffs. Look, Warchi knows the timer of the red buff. He's really confident in his ability to just out-farm Gamehunter here, and whenever we speak of that name, he's been known to out-farm his opposition. Even his game earlier against Caspanify, he wasn't getting the better end of the trades, but he was able to out-farm him, but not in this game.
Nice blink forward from the Odin. Repikas, however, finds himself in more trouble than he might have wanted. There's Creed getting the kill onto Repi. The jump forward from Dheylo is strong. Half HP on Murrdurr, and as the Skadi comes through, that quickly turns to 0. Warchi finds his 4th kill of the contest. Pushing past the Tier 1 tower are the Papis as they're looking to take New Game Plus all the way back to Spain. Tier 1 tower here going down. MrNazer with the big man plays. T1 down. Tier 2 could be next.
Papis aren't done yet. Perfect ice rink right there, forcing Vastrakal closer to Papis. A 3rd member dead from New Game Plus. Tier 2 tower still being applied a little bit of pressure, but having 2,500 health is a little bit more difficult than it needs to be, and it's 12 minutes into the game without too many items completed from Papis, taking the small victory. Getting a Tier 1 tower, stripping away buffs, rinse and repeat. Slowly take away some of the health and protections from the Titans, thinking about hitting the last nail in the coffin.
This is the type of play out of the Papis that I really like to see. I've really selected Dheylo and Dracomarino as the standout players for this team. Dracomarino seems to be that player that makes everybody around him look better. And Dheylo is just a guy that plays so well despite his win-loss record in the Pro League. Even some of the losses that the Papis have suffered earlier today, Dheylo was looking strong. So finally, they put the hammer in the Carpenter's hands. The Papis, yeah, it's camping solo lane, but you're giving Dheylo those kills. You give the Ravana lead. Not only is the character a character that plays well from ahead, but it's Dheylo who's also playing out of his mind today, and in general, in my opinion, yes, this is what you would do. You enable your enablers. You feed the hot hand. The Papis are looking incredible because of it. Up almost 10,000 gold here.
Oh, and Dheylo jumping in,
another
finding the last hit onto Murrdurr, marking his 4th kill, 8 assists total, combining for 12 out of the 14 team kills. Ooh. And like you were talking about before, the jungler role is the most important role, at least in the early game of Smite, to be able to make sure that nobody's going to be struggling at the very least. You don't necessarily have to pop off the same way Dheylo has been this game, but you certainly can't allow Vastrakal to get this far behind.
The sprint popped because another Hail Mary call, and the Papis know all about it. Half HP on the Fire Giant as New Game Plus try and pull everything out. 1/3 left. Here come the Papis! Dracomarino leading the charge. All 5 members come through. Dheylo gets the kill. The Fire Giant goes away to New Game Plus, but what happens next? Warchi gets one. Dheylo gets another. Creed on the chase for Gamehunter, and Murrdurr, he's already gone.
I mean, you lose 3 members of your own team to do what? Give your Geb a Fire Giant and a level 12 Apollo that's not going to be able to split push anyway, considering that Warchi is going to be on a complete warpath, chasing him till the end of the world. Is actually looking for him, but instead electing to go for that Gold Fury. But the more important factor here was that New Game Plus not going to allow Papis to get Fire Giant for at least the next 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
Exactly. The plan of New Game Plus, that's what I was thinking the entire time you were making that breakdown. It's so much less about NGP able to get it and more about the denial. The Papis can't have it. So, I mean, sure, the Papis make this big dramatic walk-in and they're unable to steal it, but it's not available for the Papis to have. They're going to have to settle for the Portal Demon.
I mean, hey, if I'm Papis and I'm up 13,000 gold and my enemy team got Fire Giant, you know what? I don't care. Personally, they can have all 5 members with Fire Giant and we'll still group up as 5 and siege down your tier 2 tower. Come, try to stop us getting your speed buff.
This is some of the best play I've seen out of the Papis. Warchi looking for the 1v2. The dog is on 1. Can he handle Vastrakal on the other side? Now Gamehunter's coming back after taking care of Calder. And Warchi likely to fall here. But here comes Creed with the beautiful root. And the smack out of Vastrakal. And Warchi falls down. That's kill number 3, folks, for New Game Plus.
Unfortunately, Warchi was stuck between a rock and a hard place because Gamehunter was right there. Phlippo, where did he go?
The rest of the team, you kill our hunter. Dheylo shows up. Ola, K-Tal. This is what's up. 19 kills in total for the Papis as MrNazer just crushing the right side of the map.
You cannot leave a Chronos, especially a level 15, alone to get a tier 2 tower. Book of the Dead has been completed. Demonic Grip to follow up. Trying to find any sort of farm that he can. Repikas finally hitting level 12.
Phantom on the Dheylo! Phantom on the Dheylo, and he's just chasing him down. Slows for slows, but Dheylo just giving him the hands over and over again. Blink, Dheylo doesn't have the ultimate available.
There's no way Repi gets out of this situation because Dheylo has speed buff, trying to stall out, forcing Papis to go south of the map a little bit, delaying any sort of farming potential is the strategy for Repikas.
It's about sending a message. There it is. Number 20 for Dheylo as he taunts his way out. Gamehunter.
Oh, no.
He's going to just barely get out of here. Literally 1 HP. That's, you know what we used to call that back in the day, excuse me?
Pon luck?
That's that pon luck right
yes.
There. That's that pon luck right there.
As soon as you said that 3-letter word, I know too well of this.
Very well.
Between our old team and Denial Esports, we would always scrim against each other, and many cases of the pon luck, even in scrims.
Yeah, he just Pon had this ability to just always leave with 1 HP, always, no matter what. Gamehunter getting out by the skin of his teeth, relatively important because he does have the Fire Giant for I guess 30 seconds, but still, that is something worth noting, and he's going to use that to pick up some Oracle Vision. So that is where that is. But 17.5 in, we see the Papis up. Not just 10,000, but 15K. I want to see how drastic the graph looks, actually. Just zooming.
This is a non-stop uphill climb for Papis and New Game Plus. They tried to respond in kind with that gold fury, which actually cost them to lose more gold at the end of the day. But at least being able to strip away that Fire Giant prevents any sort of Phoenix sieges earlier on. But now, Papis, they don't even care. No. They're sieging the Phoenix in the mid lane.
Yeah, Dracomarino will give his life to these two, but it's not that big of a deal because the Phoenix in mid lane is already dead. Dracomarino's alive for the moment, still dodging and weaving. He gets credit as a tower, takes out the solo lane. Not as lucky as Gamehunter takes him down after the fact, but as we said, I mean, mid lane Firebird already dead. That's the example of Dracomarino that I was saying. I mean, this guy makes the big plays as a support. I like to see that.
The life of the carry support, former like Trix tank style, is gone now. It's all about the utility style. You're trying to go for your Jade Emperor's Crown, your Shogun's Kusari. You know, whenever you have Chronos, Erlang, Shen, Robin, Skadi, 4 in-hand characters with a little bit of abilities mixed in, getting that extra attack speed is a big plus. And not only that, the anti-physical power that you're getting from that crown is going to limit the dive potential from Vastrakal and Repi.
In theory, but if he's by himself on the other side of the map, maybe the itemization doesn't come into
that Jade Emperor's Crown took away a total of 60 physical power collectively between Gamehunter and Vastrakal.
And that's why he gets the kill.
And he survived a little bit longer, allowing the tower to hit the Osiris a little bit more, and he gets credited.
I like that stuff. Warchi looking for Gamehunter, tosses it out. It's going to be 1v2. Repikas shows up, and jumps right on top of Warchi, who
Beautiful
ages
Aegis.
out the damage. Well played. Couldn't handle the 1v2 last time around. Still gonna have a little bit of trouble here.
Oh no, it's gonna be a 1v4 though this time around. The blink, the cataclysm, beats for the moment, but finally finding at least one kill. The rest of Papis, they don't mind. They got a fire giant.
I've seen this play before. I've seen this play where one single member of the Papis goes and dances on the left side while the rest, they're not going for the Phoenix.
Is this actually happening? Dheylo jumps in, gets some of the damage reduction. Vulcan ultimate, though, by Phlippo is going to deter the end attempt.
See, that right there, that's an interesting play coming out from the Papis. If they just go for the Phoenix there, totally, you don't get the back end of New Game Plus. You trade Phoenixes, and that can be annoying. The Papis jump and go overextend into the Titan room, which makes New Game Plus panic and forces them to back, ensuring that they don't lose the Phoenix, and then ensuring a team fight, which, if I'm the Papis, I am not saying no to a team fight against a squad that I'm 15K up against. Murrdurr falls down like nothing. MrNazer gets credit for that one. Gamehunter versus MrNazer. Dodging and weaving. Gamehunter probably has this, and he does. But is it too little too late?
I think the Phantom was still actually applied onto MrNazer. He had a great use of that Aegis amulet earlier on in that engagement, which kept him alive, but without having anyone else beside him, it was very easy for Gamehunter to find the kill. The attack speed is just too evident, and once that accelerate is not available for Nazer, that 1v1 victory goes to almost any physical hunter.
Yeah, just absolutely unable to grab that one. However, that's 6 kills for New Game Plus, 23 for the Papis.
And three of those kills have been from Gamehunter while still being able to assist the other remaining 3. He's been able to make the biggest impact from his team this game, but it just hasn't been enough. They lost too much pressure in the solo lane this early on, which also trickles into the jungle. And once you start losing to the blue buffs and the speed buff, it's very difficult to come back into the game.
Repikas in trouble here, jumps away. He does have some help from his teammates. Now it's going to be a 2-on-5. Dracomarino and his friend here, but Skadi's in the jungle. Everybody dealing damage. The Thorn's going to push Warchi out of the fight for the moment. Now, everybody grouped up. Dheylo's here, and Dheylo says die. Warchi gets credit off of the root from the jungler.
Nazer showing vengeance there, getting a kill at least onto Vastrakal. It's going to be a 4-on-5 for another 35 seconds. The rest of Papis with Fire Giant on 3 of their members. They want to find another Phoenix here on the left-hand side. They could also start to move and shift their attention towards the mid as that Phoenix is respawned.
I think this is the last push. Left side Phoenix goes down nice and easy. The most important Phoenix of the game, the one furthest from the Fire Giant. And then we'll see the mid lane Phoenix go down as well. With 2 birds down, totally, Phlippo is going to get his damage avoided by Warchi. Another clutch Aegis. The Papis rotating over there to the right-hand side. MrNazer by himself. Oh, don't get caught out, buddy.
He had to use his rewind after getting hit by Phlippo's ultimate, so he's still going to be able to rotate. They have a ward right next to the middle Phoenix to be able to spot where the rotations from New Game Plus will occur.
No such thing as too safe, right, Tully?
Oh, I'd have to absolutely agree with you. You know, you could be up 17,000 gold, make it about 18.5 to 19 after this Gold Fury, but the last thing that matters is this Titan.
I still would have liked to see them go for the Titan. I think that's a team fight you can take. Just saying. But Papis, as we said, I mean, this is the definition of a must-win.
But think about it this way,
So playing it safe here, this is one of the scenarios. You know what? This is one of the scenarios you literally have to win this game.
They probably had a lot of gold in hand, and only having 66,000 collective gold for Papis, that's still not the 6-item mark, with the exception of Warchi, that's finished off everything. Creed is extremely tanky right now in the physical department. Guardian Mail, Mystical Mail, Height of Nemi line, and 6 stacks on that Height of Urchin. Also 6 stacks for Dheylo.
I mean, that's it. Nobody's going to be dealing damage to him except Phlippo. And right now, you know, the level 15 Vulcan not really bringing him, unfortunately. Dheylo, however, here he is. Dheylo and Creed, really the guys that brought this win for the Papis. as they continue to bring it down. Right side, Phoenix is the focus. Vastrakal here jumps on the backhand and quickly turns around. Nice ultimate out of Murrdurr, setting the players up to get hit by Phlippo. Warchi could be in trouble, and in fact he will. Vastrakal gets lucky number 7 for New Game Plus, and the fight's continuing on.
Dheylo and Creed tried to dive the enemy backline for too long, leaving their own backline exposed, which allowed for a lot of easy picks here for New Game Plus, or exception. Just one pick, but that one pick is so important. For 40 seconds, without your Hunter here, you can't necessarily do the Fire Giant cleanly. Now, granted, you do have a Chronos in the late game, so that makes things a little easier.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a different story there. The Papis, though, that's an example of a play that you cannot continue to make. With this gigantic lead that you have, what does it say, 16,000 gold lead? You can make 1, 2, maybe even 3 of those misplays, but you still got to be careful.
Absolutely, and another problem was the fact that the Aegis was still down for Warchi. It's just coming off cooldown now. Even waiting for Warchi to respawn before even attempting this Fire Giant, ensuring all 5 members will have this late game buff. And with 2 Phoenixes down here from New Game Plus, all the attention from Papis going to shift on over to that right-hand side of the map.
Again, that's the right play. You absolutely want to have your Hunter available and ready, so that he knows that he's able to do the damage. Gold's Fury, very important Gold's Fury for New Game Plus. No reason for the Papis to really be able to try and stop that. They wouldn't get there in time, no big deal. It's just New Game Plus trying to dig themselves out of this hole.
Last-ditch effort from New Game Plus. It's time to do or die as the final Phoenix Siege from Papis is about to occur. This Fire Giant buff is going to be so impactful here, considering it's going to melt this Phoenix, melt the Titan, give everybody from Papis a bunch of regen. And I'm looking at the DPS here from MrNazer as he goes in.
Well, here we have the right side Phoenix one more time. Nice blink forward from Repi. Gonna catch a couple of people in the ring, but Vastrakal is the one that takes the damage this time around. MrNazer going deep, getting the kill out of the mid lane. iCreeD gets the kill on the Vastrakal. The right Phoenix goes down totally, and everybody looking at the Titan. Ladies and gentlemen, the Papis demolish, destroy, and brutalize. New Game Plus. This one belongs to the Papis.
Great performance from Papis. They now have 2 victories in this European relegation. They are praying for a miracle for the next game. They need Victoria's Secret to lose.
Exactly. Should Victoria's Secret lose, then the Papis have one step closer to the Pro League defending their spot.
And we're going to see that coming up soon. But let's take a look at some of the replays here. That last team fight, though, MrNazer diving that backline. But at the beginning of the game, it was all Dheylo.
I mean, it's all about Dheylo for me. I mean, this guy, I like what he's brought to the Pro League. I like him here in the relegations. I mean, even at home, he's winding up streaming. You know how I always love to see the players create some content. And Dheylo, when you look like this, why not show it off on the stream?
Absolutely. His strategy just worked out flawlessly. Just camping out Vastrakal, what was it, 3 times, getting a kill successfully at least 2 times, and then forcing him back for a 3rd, allowed Creed to get a huge edge.
Yeah, I mean, you want to go ahead and secure the lead for Ravana right here. They were unable to secure the steal, but they just destroy New Game Plus after the fact. Only 2 players had the Fire Giant after this team fight. One of them was a Geb. So really big plays coming out, and it was all, so many times you just saw that Superman punch come out from the Ravana. Really big stuff out of Dheylo here, virtually bringing the win to the Papis just by him and Creed.
If Papis can play like that every single game, then whoever the solo lane jungle is going to be, whether it's in the Challenger circuit, whether it's in the SPL, they're going to have to watch out, because that was absolutely devastating. That was the shortest game so far this day.
We've seen games go almost an hour. This one just underneath a half. As we take a look at the screenshot of everybody's performance, that's 3 wins for the Papis, only 2 for Victoria's Secret. New Game Plus with 0 themselves.
It's actually 3 matches played for Papis with 2 victories. So Victoria's Secret, they have 2 matches played, 2 matches winning. So if Victoria's Secrets win this next one, they're guaranteed. If they lose against Burrito, we're going to have a 3-way tie.
And that's going to mean more Smite. So either way, we have at least one more game. Stay tuned. We'll be back.
I don't wanna be cruel, but here's the thing. What you thought we had never It was good at first, but eventually I could see between. You did everything you could to have me. You did your best to make me yours. If I knew how all of this would turn out, but nobody knew. And now we done to you. And now we done to you. How can I say it so that you could understand? How can I tell you how stupid I felt? I can't believe that I thought we were in love when you were busy playing. You did everything you could to have me. You did your best to make me yours. If I knew how all of this would turn out.